There we go. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks so much for tuning in. For those that you're watching the replay, today's market analysis for December 6th, 2024. It's crazy. 2024, 4 years after all of this nonsense began. Uh, well, it's been almost 5 years now. It was 2019 when December 2019 when the announcement came from the mainstream media that the dangerous virus out of Wuhan was sweeping across the planet. 5 years. It's been 5 years. Today, we're going to be covering various assets from different fields. The purpose of this is to just introduce more opportunities that are available. It's really all we're after. If you have a plethora of opportunities, it's a lot easier for you to diversify your portfolio and experience a consistent growth as we go through this bubble. And the purpose of this is to really just give an overview of what the industry what the industry is how the industry is expected to grow over the next little while, and what kinds of projects that we can see are going to that are teed up for this bubble, that are ready to go. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce to you, if you haven't already had a chance, get yourself an account set up with coinmarketcap.com. And just got to find my controller here so that I can share my screen. There we go. Coinmarketcap.com. This website here is incredible. Oh, what is this little line? I wonder. How does that line come in? Notice that show up like right there. I don't know why. Because everything looks good on my end. Okay, anyway, coinmarketcap.com is a great resource because you can, all of the cryptocurrencies that are listed, and even some cryptocurrencies that have no data, are listed on here. And so you can get a lot of information about the coin, about the project, associated websites, projects that are being proposed upon, coins that are listed, so on and so forth. And when you first open it up, when you're on the home page, it will show all of the coins in order of how much market capitalization they hold. That's why Bitcoin's at the top with almost $2 trillion, going up all the time, of course. As these numbers come in, it's fascinating to watch. Sometimes you can see these numbers here change really fast, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating to watch. But what we are looking for here, what's going to happen is that most people, when they take a look at this, they're going to be like, "Ooh, look, Bitcoin's at the top." This is the mentality that a lot of people have. Bitcoin's at the top. I want the Bitcoin. And then they start filtering through all of these. And so I've shared this in the past. We had Bitcoin reach over 100,000 just the other day, but then it's retraced back now underneath 100,000. Well, that's because as the money comes in, the people that are looking for opportunities, they're going most of the time to CoinMarketCap, and they're looking at what is the trending stuff, like what's the top ranked ones, and they're taking their Bitcoin and they're putting it into slotting them into these different silos. Everything from XRP, Solana, there's Cardano at number 8, Avalanche, which is more of an infrastructure coin. That's why it's listed here as number 11. It's not it's a blockchain coin, but it's a layer 2 coin. So we've got these opportunities. As people are coming in, they're going to be throwing their money into here. And what I want to show you, using CoinMarketCap, some of the tools that are available to you to analyze these opportunities. And we're going to be going through a few of the new ones that I've been exposed to over the last while. Everything from memes to AI and so on, gaming, infrastructure, you name it. I want to make sure that we have a wide range of opportunities to choose from. So what I do is that in when I'm in my market cap, the first place I go to is actually my watch list. And the reason why is because it's really hard to manage a big, huge, long list. So here inside your watch list, up in the top left there, you can actually create more watch lists. And so you can start categorizing your coins. And as you can see, I've got a few categories here. They don't all have tons of coins in them yet. I'm just going to be going through all of the different ones that I'm starting to sort so that we can start seeing where these opportunities are. This first coin watch list, that's just the default. And I just added a bunch in there, right? Because I've got some money invested in them, or I'm interested in them, or they've been recommended to me, and so I'm looking for entry points on those assets. When you go inside that menu option, you can see down here is the ability to create a new watch list. That's what you'll click on to create whatever category of asset you want to watch. So I already got one, but real world assets, RWA, that could be a watch list. And then you'd put all the coins that are related to that in that category. But let's go through this. If you need some help with that, let me know. Got no problem making some tutorial videos or even screen sharing with you to make sure that you are comprehending what it is that you're getting involved in. But I'm going to start off here by going to the altcoins. Oh, wow, I thought I had more. Oh, you know what? I think this might be, oh no, this is the right account. All right, well, anyway, we'll grab some more as we go on. So altcoins, XRP, Solana, Tron, basically if it's not Bitcoin or Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum have kind of been that gold standard for a while. I actually think that in 2025 we're going to see Ethereum lose relevancy, just because of it's kind of I want to say it was a transitionary coin from one type of protocol into other protocols that are far more refined, better, more secure, stable. I mean, I kind of thought honestly that given the promise of Bitcoin, the promise of blockchain, that Ethereum became irrelevant the moment it had a failed transaction and no one could explain why. To me, that makes it an irrelevant coin. And it happens. Like it's a crazy amount. It's something one out of a million transactions or something like that. It's a crazy odd, but they can't explain it. It's just gone, and you have no idea which transaction is going to be that one. It could be a $10 transaction or it could be a $10 million transaction. There's no telling what causes it. This just happens every once in a while. And the fact that that happens every once in a while tells me that it is quite an irrelevant coin. And the only reason it exists, I believe, is because it was easy to use. Like people were able to get started easily. Developers were able to develop on it easily enough, making dApps and whatever else. I don't know. It's kind of like the whole beta versus VHS, right? Everybody knew beta was better, but it's just the adoption, right? So the same type of thing is happening with Ethereum, I think. The altcoins that I'm more interested in are going to be the ones that are providing liquidity and infrastructure for developing into the emerging markets that we see coming into the fourth industrial revolution. Now, some of those coins might be built on Ethereum. Just don't hear me say something I'm not saying, that I think that they're all garbage. I just think that Ethereum as a layer one coin is it's losing its relevancy. I mean, when you think about it, if you're running Ethereum and you want to make a $50 transaction and there are $25 of transaction fees, it's not something that's going to automatically, obviously this isn't going to be widely adopted, right? It's going to serve a different purpose. And I believe that the purpose that Ethereum has served over the last 8-9 years, it's done. There are far superior technologies out there to do this work. and it just is kind of riding on the coattails of everything else. And I kind of feel like Ethereum probably become more irrelevant after this bubble. Just because, I mean, XRP, people are building dApps on XRP, and that protocol is way faster for transactions and cheaper. You know, Solana, same idea. Solana transactions back and forth, they're like a penny. What's the other one there? Polkadot. Uh, was it Polkadot? No, Polygon. Yeah, Polygon, same idea. Usually under a penny, the transactions are under a penny, and they can process quickly, right? So I believe that these other coins that are out there are going to edge Ethereum out in that respect. And I know that's a hot take, and some people might get upset about me over that, but I mean, if I just stopped doing what I was doing because people got upset, I would have quit a long time ago. So, altcoins. Dogecoin isn't an altcoin. Although it's here sitting at ranked 7 overall, it's actually a meme coin. But it's an older one, and so now it's just kind of been thrown in with XRP and Solana and all them because just how relevant it's become. So how do you do this? Well, when you have the coin up on the screen, right next to it, there's this little star. You can click on that and you can actually organize it into your different lists. And as you can see, I've got it sitting in memes, Doge. So that's how you use that. Let's go back again. Well, I didn't want it on the main watch list. Let's just go in and make sure it gets put on the right list. Oh, for some reason Cardano went into AI. Look at that, eh? So I'm going to put that in altcoin. So now we got that one. I apologize, folks. I know I did this. I know I did this like 2 days ago. I organized all these. I'm wondering if I was like in a different browser on the wrong user or something like that. Okay, so Cardano USDC. This is a stable coin. This is an altcoin, but it's a stable coin, meaning that it's algorithmically going to maintain its value very close to $1, and it fluctuates maybe a penny up or down. I've seen it, up to a couple pennies, and then of course in 2022, USDT, the tethered coin that's wrapped in Ethereum, that one was also it received a big hit due to the instability in 2022. So it's still just an altcoin, but as you can see, it maintains its price a lot more consistently, right? Now here back in early days, 2018, so on and so forth, we even saw it flux. Yeah, look at that. That's $1.04. So there's some of that going on. But as you can see, overall, it's very, very stable. And the reason for that is because if you have cryptocurrencies and you're wanting to trade into because you want to be stable, right? Things are going up. Let's use the example of Bitcoin just because. So Bitcoin goes up and down all the time, right? So let's say for instance it's going up. Well, you want to sell, but you don't want to go all the way back into your bank. So you're selling Bitcoin and now all this Bitcoin got transferred into Canadian dollars and it's sitting in your bank account. Well, that's a lot of moving around and transaction fees and all that stuff. And so the purpose for stable coins is so that you can sell an asset that's valuable and turn it into a cryptocurrency that won't change in value in comparison to your fiat. So you can quickly make a swap between the currency like Bitcoin and then a stable coin, and then that stable coin will maintain the value so that when the price goes down again, you can swap that cryptocurrency, that stable coin, back into the asset that you want to buy. In this case here, Bitcoin. So that is the purpose of a stable coin, and there are a few out there now, and I'm going to be adding a few on as well because we are going to be experiencing some pullbacks, and it may be advantageous to quickly grab a tether coin something that's stable with the U.S. dollar. And you can see here there's Tether, USDT, and then there's USDC, and then there are other ones too that are coming out all the time. In fact, Cardano just came out with one a couple weeks ago. So Tron, this is another altcoin. Again, contracts. It's altcoin, but it's a layer 2 coin on Ethereum. So it uses the Ethereum protocol, but it doesn't have the same absorbent fees. Using the protocol, it is able to process these transactions quick. And typically speaking, we're seeing memes and games being developed off of Tron. And right now, sitting at 27 billion market cap. It's in a good position. And we look at the overall, it's creating new highs all the time. Right now, this is not it's fine to buy because this is probably going to go to $2 or $3 on this cycle. So it's not too late, even though the chart is showing brand new highs, never been this high before. It's not too late to get this. But this altcoin here, the bubble is going to make everything go crazy. And so Tron being really backing a lot of liquidity for memes and games, we're probably going to see this type of movement happen even more once the AI bubble is through, because Tron as a coin doesn't have a whole lot of AI projects on it. Might not even have any that I'm aware of. And so this movement here is just people buying those coins off the top of the list, right? Majority. Again, there are good things happening on Tron. I've got a few assets in Tron as well. In fact, I think Sundog, if I remember correctly, Sundog is on the Tron network. So that's an example. Did I put it in my? Yeah, it's in my altcoin list. Let's go on to what's one we haven't. Oh, BNB. BNB is an altcoin, pretty expensive, and the reason why this has become such a prominent coin with $103 billion market cap is because this is the Binance coin. The Binance coin is it's the liquidity coin that Binance uses as an exchange. So if you like the exchange, you may want to have invested in this. And as you can tell, it did quite well. $17, $20 here in 2020, and now sitting at an all-time high of 720. But that's a nice increase, huge increase, 20x even. But the reason for, and again, this coin here is really only going to be valuable for people that appreciate this exchange. And I don't think that this exchange is bad per se, but whenever you've got a very large exchange that is conducting a lot of transactions, you are in a position of power. And wherever there can be power, whenever the level of power that they have over the market is so great, I don't trust them. Now, it doesn't make them bad, but having that kind of power over the market, to me, is it's not good. So that's my commentary on BNB. What's another coin here? Another altcoin. Oh, Shiba Inu. This is another meme coin. And look at how crazy this meme coin is. Look at the valuation with 4 zeros before there's even a digit. And the market cap is $17 billion. And we can see that over even since the very beginning, this is a 2 million%. Is that right? Yeah. 2.27 million% increase since the beginning. And we're not even at the high. Right? So this here is a meme coin. I'm going to go ahead and throw that into memes. And if I remember correctly, looks like Shiba is on the Ethereum network, but I thought that this was a Solana. I thought that was a Solana deal, but anyway, there you go. Toncoin. This one here, if I remember correctly, let's go to the website. I think this is about, That's right. This is the Telegram coin. So Telegram has its own coin now, and it's being used for a lot of startups for, well, like it says here, creators, gamers, so on and so forth. All you need is Telegram to get started. Once you have Telegram, you can start putting money in and out and get those coins going. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, that there is KYC on this. Let's see what it says here. Get a wallet. Oh, various wallets out there. Good to know. So look at that. Tons. The Trust Wallet has it listed. Great. And what I also know is that right inside Telegram is that there's an app inside Telegram that you can use to trade. You can send money back and forth between other Telegram members and all that stuff. So that one's garnering a lot of attention. Let's go and put this one in altcoins. All right, let's see what else we got. SWI. This one is a coin I haven't talked a whole lot about, but it is very, very much an infrastructure coin, providing, yeah, tons of projects, especially in computing. And so we can see that it is at an all-time high right now. Still, this is at the base. We're going to see this grow. I remember it was back in here, like just before the election. Like it's gone up, yeah, 3 times since the election. But I can remember in this area here, people were saying this will easily go to $20-$30. So that's a nice coin. Again, altcoin. So I put it in the altcoins. Let's move down the list here. Bitcoin Cash. This is another one of those kind of like, hey, let's take Bitcoin and let's make another version of it that's cheaper because the mining fees are so expensive that their transaction fees are getting high. That's basically what they made with Bitcoin Cash back in the day. I have no really have much interest in this. However, if you look at the chart, if this does take off, it does have a 12.12 billion market cap. There is still a lot of interest in it. Obviously, it's ranked 18th overall, and the high price was $2,900. So where we are right now at 600, that's a nice increase. That's a really nice increase. You got a 5x ahead of you if you play that right, and possibly even more. Who knows? That's Bitcoin Cash. Let's put that in alt. Yeah, I know I did this. I must have did it on a different browser. Okay, next. Oh, yeah, this one was actually introduced to me by one of our members who doesn't come to the market analysis because he works first thing in the morning. But he was talking to me about this one, and he bought just before the election. So yeah, right there around probably 5 cents, looks like 9 cents, somewhere in there, and sitting now at 29 cents. Again, a newer project. It's not super old. It only goes back to 2021. But this particular asset is again about it's more about big tech and and having the governance tokens that they are using are for boards of directors to bring forward massive projects. As you can tell, some huge companies here that are involved in this one. But they are wanting to decentralize networking. So instead of needing centralized servers like Amazon uses Amazon Web Services, AWS, hosting for websites, apps, email, you name it. Amazon Web Hosting is actually, it's a huge business. But it's all centralized servers, and so then you got to have millions upon millions of dollars of infrastructure, tens of millions of dollars of infrastructure. You're spending if you get certified as a technician for doing remote work with Amazon, you can get paid $150 an hour, no problem. So there are huge opportunities within these companies to use this coin. And they're pouring a lot of money into it because it's their own little ecosystem that they get to use in the development of their apps. And yeah, everything from development into hosting to even computing power, where they're able to share computing power so that it's not all centralized, relying on one source. And we're seeing this type of coin show up a lot. And I do want to talk about that maybe, in one market analysis, dedicate about half an hour to talk about that because of how significant that is to how we consume the internet. See, right now, the way it is right now, as we're talking here, all of this information is going through one centralized server and then dispersing back to your guys' computers. So I'm here, I go through here, my internet service provider takes this data and as quickly as possible, obviously, at full high definition, 1080p, it's transmitting a lot of data to centralized server. That centralized server takes that information and then has the power, because my computer doesn't have the power to send three different video streams to three different people on three different on their own internet service provider. No, I don't have that kind of computing power. And so that's why we pay for internet service providers, so that they can provide that computing power and transmission of the data. Well, with coins like Hedra, their objective is to make it where people can actually have their computers that they have. Like, and again, this isn't going to be the mom and pops that are doing this, but the idea is that now computers network together to process this information. And that can be a decentralized and even a remote setup. So that's the type of thing that we're going to see happening more and more, is this collaborative move within these ecosystems to fundamentally change how we consume the internet, so that we aren't having to have all of these uh, all of these extra protocols and whenever you have that kind of centralization, there are fails. There are points of failure that, for me, in the way the internet works, shouldn't be there. We shouldn't have that. And in fact, the way the internet was first designed to be used was in a decentralized fashion. And still to this day, the greatest level of autonomy that you can have on a decentralized network is an IP address. Good old IP address from the 80s. If you can secure that, you actually have more security than what blockchain can provide. But most people have no idea how to run servers, and they're not supposed to. They're doing more important things like being bakers and hairdressers and plumbers, construction workers. They're doing their thing. They're living their purpose. And so they don't have a server, and so they don't have that security. They got to trust someone else for it. What blockchain does is it gives access to that type of security for the individual when they're using the internet, because these protocols can happen on these types of decentralized networks. So that's an important, let's go mark that one. That's an important altcoin. Next, Litecoin. This is what we call a boomer coin, because it's been around for a long time. And you can see even, it had the 2017 cycle, peaked out, but then in the 2001 cycle, or 2021 cycle rather, it didn't really go up much higher. 349.60, and look at that, 345, right? So it didn't even beat out the previous high. What happens this time? I don't know. I'm not in it, but I think that it's just going to experience some of the momentum from people coming on board. But there's an altcoin. Next, Uniswap. So this coin here, another altcoin. This one is providing the, Uniswap. I mean, we've got Uniswap in, I don't have it on this browser, but I'll show you what it looks like real quick, because I do use it in here. Oh, and it needs my password. There we go. All right. So now I think if I go like this, yes. All right, cool. So ignore the fact this is not how much money I have. This is how much money I have in this wallet that we're working with trades. And as you can see, things are doing pretty good, especially when I only started this. Ready for this? I only started this with 3,000, this account. So let's move on. So this is Uniswap. This is a platform where I can conduct trades with my wallet in a very simple way. So this is a very key component of trade within the crypto ecosystem. And so that's why, and it's a big project, huge project. That's why, oops. Oh no, where did my screen go? Let's close this window. There it is. That's, oh. Too many tabs. I clicked the wrong button. Uniswap price. Here we go. Uniswap. So that's why this one has its own coin, because just how much this gets used to execute trades. This high price here, this will likely be eclipsed by about 10 times. Okay, so this is another great coin. I'm not in it right now just because I'm focusing on deeper project coins, not so much the altcoins. Not because it's a bad idea, but because I just wanted to be positioned earlier, right? I have altcoins. I'm happy with their growth. My focus is getting deep down into the individual projects that I think are going to 20 or 30x, because honestly, the altcoin season is already in full effect, and I would prefer to see people experience a lot more growth from this bubble. Again, AI is still fine. You're probably still going to 5 or 6x over the next little while. Nice and easy way to get some money. I like to use Uniswap to get these extra coins. And as you can see, here's my portfolio here. So Neural, WorldCoin, Destra, Gala, so on and so forth. And what I do with this platform, this is why it's so popular, this is why it has $12 billion market cap, is because let's say, for instance, I'm looking at the charts and I decide, oh, you know what? Destra here is done its plateauing. I've got some good growth from it, 250% or so. I can go ahead and move this asset. So I click on Destra, brings it up over here, and then I can, oh, how come it's not letting me scroll down? Oh, there we go. I don't know why. There we go. So here is, it actually shows you all the transactions too. Look at that, 4 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago. Every transaction that has to do with Destra. So it's very, very powerful tool. Why is that important? Well, because you can go and look and be like, okay, well, here's this wallet address that conducted this transaction. It's a pretty big transaction. Look at that, $4,000 Canadian. Who is this? Click on the wallet, and it comes up with all their transactions in that wallet and what they've been doing. Looks like it started 4 days ago over in Coinbase. Transparency. I have no idea there's no way of knowing who this is unless they reveal their identity, but that's the openness of the chain. So the reason why this is important is because you can actually find wallets that are very, very large. We call them whales, and you can see what they're doing. And again, that's because of the power of this tool. So Uniswap, great coin because of what it's providing for people, the simplicity that's there. Oh, I know what I was going to say. A little ADD here this morning. So if I like the way Destra is, right from here, there's my swap button. I can go in here and say, oh, I'm going to take this coin, desync, and it gives me a warning because it's not traded on centralized exchanges. Good, because I don't like centralized exchanges. It just gives me that warning because, we're now in unregulated markets, blah, blah, blah. Select token. And it's like, okay, well, Destra, I feel is good. I'm going to go to something that has yet to grow. Let's say Gala. Gala has yet to blow up because it's a gaming coin. So here I can go and say, okay, well, let's take 1300 desync, which turns out to be right now market price $905.63 Canadian, and it will automatically calculate how much Gala I will get by swapping that Destra. So this is nice because now I don't have to get most of these coins. You got to get Ethereum or Solana or Cardano or whatever the layer 1 coin is, and then you got to buy the asset. Well, inside things like Uniswap, MetaMask does it, Cardano can do it on Sunday Swap or Min Swap. Those programs allow you to use your wallet to quickly swap one type of token for another. And that convenience is really nice. But look at that. Network fees are pretty high right now, $94. That means that there's lots of activity. It's a good sign. So yeah, that is Uniswap. That's why it has 10 billion market cap. Makes it easier for people to move their coins around, to swap them around. Okay, let's move on. What else do we got? Polygon. Obviously, I've got some assets in this. We've looked at this chart before. This is going to be very, very key for a lot of infrastructure in the video gaming world already. Like, look, so down to 29 cents, now up to 69 cents. So we're pushing a 300% return on that. Finding some resistance, you can see it. Even though we're not using bars, you can see that there's that resistance. So we're there right now. This next movement here is going to happen quick too, probably by the end of the year. So if you wanted to make a quick 2x, that's a nice one. Let's move on. Render. Okay, so Render is another processing coin. So using computer processing. And I think, yeah, it's a distributed render now. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, so basically, they're, again, wanting to decentralize the way the internet is, internet protocols are passing information around. Another way to look at this is imagine you've got a, let's go like this. Imagine you have an envelope. And that envelope has all kinds of information in it, and several letters to several different participants. Okay, that's how you can visualize what a block looks like on blockchain. Now, I want to send this package, and I want to send it to say someone else. But now instead of a block, I'm just sending one envelope. I'm going to take this one little envelope because I'm going to send it to Maria as an example. So I put it in the mail. Imagine the mail system taking that letter and shredding it while it's inside the envelope. And it goes into hundreds and tens of thousands of pieces. Goes and shreds it all up. Now it's just confetti. Well, who's going to read that? How is it going to be legible? Well, imagine all of those tiny little pieces of that envelope getting scattered, but not randomly, with direction and purpose. This shredded letter gets scattered across to several locations. Now, if anybody were to pick up any one of those pieces, they would look at it and be like, what is this for? I have no idea. There's no way that anyone could possibly know what that data was, because the pieces of data are just so tiny. You need to have them all together to tell what it is. Well, imagine, continuing this analogy, imagine all of those pieces getting scattered across tons of different locations, and all of those locations end up sending that same data to one singular point. And that singular point is basically activated when unlocked with a key. And then all of a sudden, all of this shredded paper reconstitutes itself back into the original form so that my recipient, Maria, could read it. That's what happens when these transactions occur on chain. The transaction could be, say 2000 ADA, for example. Well, that transaction gets sent to the network and it scatters it across several transactions to bring it back to the final recipient. But that pathway is only visible to people who are specifically following it. And in order for that transaction to reconstitute itself and be used by the recipient, they have to have their key. But all of that gets sent all in one shot and spread out, and then reconverging back into a constituted form. That is what is going on with decentralized computing. And in fact, one of the services that I like to use, let's go to it right now, is storage.io. This is amazing. Usually when you get into cloud computing, you're looking at, $100 a year for a terabyte, or maybe 2 terabytes. $100 a year. And now that's a lot of space. But if you're into video, if you're doing any kind of production, if you've got large amounts of data, that can get expensive. With this, it's decentralized. So if I've got a video and I want to send it to someplace, that video is actually currently scattered into billions of little pieces. And in fact, I shouldn't say billions, but there are fragments of data in the billions all over the place. Every one of the files that I go into, when I go into the folder and you look, it actually shows, oh, this file is actually spread out across 800 some locations. And the only way that they all come together so that someone can see it is if they have the key. So it is only by my consent that the videos I store on storage can be seen by someone else. And it's express consent, meaning I have to actually manually do it. My keys are manual on this. Like I've got them written down. They're physical keys. In order for the content to be shared with someone else, they would have to have the key. Or I can go ahead and download it and then upload it somewhere else. But this storage here is not $100 a year for a terabyte. It's $4. $4. The price of this is easily 95% cheaper than traditional cloud services. And storage is doing both storing the content, but then also using the decentralized network to process the information, to compute where does it need to go, and all of the computing power necessary to run so that it can be displayed, all of it. So storage is a great example of that I actually use on a regular basis. Render, same idea. They're wanting to decentralize all of this processing, all of this storage. They want to see that, they just want to see it be. They want to see it be more decentralized. So I apologize. I kind of threw this one together because the prep work that I did, it must be in a different profile, and I'm going to have to find out where it is because I had it nice and organized. We've gone through a bunch of different ones, a bunch of different altcoins, and I started talking about the tech. And I do have to get going though because I've got another appointment that I don't want to be late for. And yeah, I'll make sure that for Monday I've got that right profile so that we can go through the list because I did have them organized very nicely. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Apologize for the all over the board. I had to improvise on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream. We'll see you guys tomorrow for market analysis.